Love the smell of getting absolutely rugged in the morning. Scott Bessent, what the hell, man? You have to wait to see what I mean. Shit's hitting the rails. We've gotten duped, tricked, bait and switched for our vote. We'll share a video clip, a very important one, and well, what does it mean for Bitcoin and the United States relationship moving forward? We're going to talk about Chainlink. We're talking about Dogecoin. The markets were running hot. Cardano was over $1. Alts were running, and well, everything just dumped. We'll talk about some key levels to look out for. We're going to share some whale activity. And there's a lot to unpack today, and we're going to start the show in a second with what Scott Bessent said and what it means. And my friend Robin over here is saying they've been buying. I wouldn't be surprised if they have. They don't even have the amount of Bitcoin that they said they had. We'll talk about that and much, much more in today's episode of Sin City Crypto. Let's go. Well. I'm back. My boy Rob is going to be joining me here shortly. I'm going to kick the show off here. Scott Bessent, what are we doing, guys? What are we doing, Scott Bessent? We're going to get into that video clip here in a second. Let's take a look at what happened overnight. Well, this morning, early morning in the markets. It's a sea of red. All we're waiting on is Moses to come part the goddamn sea. And I shouldn't have said GD because I used the Lord's name in vain. Lord, please forgive me. But the sea of red shall be parted soon again. I'm coming out with a book next month. Make sure to buy it. It's on Amazon. Just kidding. All jokes aside, guys, obviously we have a lot of red in the market. Meme coins getting crushed. WIF down 10%. SPX down 12%. Pengu down 10%. Hex, also a meme coin, down 10%. And then you take a look on the hour, see if we can see a little bit of a rebound. Arbitrum's rebounding nicely. Injective, Hyperliquid, Pump.Fun, XLM, Algorand, Fetch. Now, we talked about, let's go to CoinMarketCap here real quick, and then we'll get into what Scott Bessent said. Well, first of all, let me share this with you. Over the last 24 hours, $1.05 billion was liquidated from the cryptocurrency markets, with 77%. Wow, I thought the number would be a lot higher. 77% being longs. Over the last 12 hours, where we saw 856 million. So 85% of the 1 billion came in the last 12 hours. Okay, and we look at that, 88.7% being longs, getting liquidated and crushed. Now, there's this one trader that I keep seeing his trades posted on Agula on X. And I'm pretty sure I read something to where they were short the market, it rallied, they lost, and then they reversed, and then the market's dumped, and he lost again. It's messed up. It was a lot of money. But, yeah, guys, I don't want to say chaos and pandemonium, but this is a pretty ugly candle here on the daily for Bitcoin. Guys, this bearish candle has so far engulfed the last three. Okay? And what do I mean? Let me zoom in. This candle, the body, has engulfed the entirety of the last three candles, including the wicks. Pretty bearish, okay? Pretty bearish. Could this be short-lived? I believe it will be short-lived. I think people overreacted not just to Scott Bessent, but I think they also, well, I don't know if that was an overreaction, because it's like any of you that have kids, right? You tell your kids, hey, guys, next Saturday, we're going to go to the water park, right? They get excited. They tell their friends. They start looking up YouTube shorts to see what rides there are. And then all this anticipation builds up leading up to Saturday. Tuesday rolls around. Dad, I'm so excited. And then Wednesday, they act naughty. And then you say, if you don't listen to your mom, you're not going to the water park on Saturday. They're like, no, please, I want to go to the water park. Friday rolls around. They can't sleep. Trying on their bathing suits. Trying on the sunscreen, for heaven's sake. And then Saturday rolls around, you're like, hey, guys, just kidding. We're not going to the water park. You thought I was serious? What? No. They're going to be devastated, crushed. Their souls, you can see their souls leave their bodies. That's what happened to us. My soul left my body today. Scott Bessent told us they're not buying Bitcoin. Anyways, you have that. Plus, I know that was a very thorough explanation, but I'm amped up today, man. I'm amped up today. And then the second thing is the PPI. PPI numbers came in hot, 3.2 or 3.1, above 3. The important thing is higher than forecast, higher than expected. So a lot of people are saying, that means inflation is going back up. They're not going to cut rates next month. What I will tell you is we'll see how the unemployment numbers come out, because it's not just inflation, but unemployment's a big one as well. If the Fed starts seeing the unemployment rate start to tick up, that could give them the nudge. Even if CPI is inching up a little bit, that could give them the nudge to cut those rates. And so that's just one thing to keep in mind. I honestly believe this candle is going to, this is just going to end up being a really nasty wick. But we'll see. We'll see if Bitcoin can get above 120 again, which I'll drop a horizontal line. And guys, if you want more TA, I'll be doing the 16 trading stream today, right after this show. So make sure to come join me. We'll make this a little less thick. Blue line. You can see here, that's kind of the range Bitcoin consolidated in, right? The blue range. As if there's not enough lines and indicators here, right? This level, this area is where Bitcoin really just ping-ponged around, fell through, and then came in and had just an absolutely massive rally. But that 120 level, we're going to need to get above that. If we can close today's candle above 120, I think that's then we're back in the swing of things. You can see tons of buyers stepping in here. And we'll see if these buyers end up turning into sellers. But you can see this massive volume node here from the VRVP showing us. A lot of volume happening in this area, okay? A lot of volume happening in this area. We do have a large liquidity point up here at around 123,328, where around 40,000 Bitcoin was sold. We can get rid of the high volume point. And let's see if Market Cypher A is giving us anything. It is not. Let's throw this on here. Big liquidity grab up around 122. Bulls took price action back though, which was good. I'm just taking a peek. Let me get rid of the VRVP. I mean, look at this. I'll get rid of this. Look at this massive order block. 12% of all volume was done here in that range that we just showed you, right? 12% of all volume, and looks like shorts are 3 or 4 to 1 ahead of the bulls. And this is where we also have that liquidity grab. Price got all the way up to 123, came back down and closed sub 120. And then price started going up, increasing volume, which is good. So I truly think this is just a blip in the radar. I don't think that Bitcoin is going to continue to fall down. The one good news here, guys, and we can pull up Bitcoin on the CME, believe that gap was closed. So this is Bitcoin, CME. Let's clean up the chart here. Remove, yes. Get rid of you. I think we perfectly filled this gap. Let's take a peek. Let's drop it right at the open of the last Friday, I believe. Yep, Friday the 8th. And let me make this less thick so we can see. Yeah, I mean, if you're counting hairs, if you're splitting hairs, we're about $80 off, right? This low was 117,805, and our line is 117,745. So we'll just call it. We'll just call this a gap filled. Okay. So a lot of people were concerned about the gap being filled. And this is something I told Rob yesterday on the show when we were talking about where Bitcoin is headed to next, and more specifically to where Solana was heading next. And part of the reason why I said I think Solana is going to go down to 180. If we weren't going to stay above that 123 and get to that 125 and continue to see volume increasing, then I thought that, I think that gap was going to fill. Now, it's much cleaner to get the gap filled now from 123 down to 117 than from 150 down to 117. For obvious reasons, right? You're talking about a 6% pullback, a 5% pullback versus a 20% pullback. And so now the gap is filled. All the people that are concerned or were concerned that, hey, we got more downside because of that CME gap living at that 117.7 level, Well, you can put your fears to rest because, well, that gap has officially been filled. Cardano, Cardano was really starting to rally, man. And I just feel like, look at this. Look at that massive. This used to be a green volume bar, by the way. This was a beautiful green volume bar. And, well, now it's a beautiful, not a beautiful, it's a ugly red volume bar. It got all the way up to over $1, $1.02, $2.50. And it just, Cardano cannot catch a break. I'm pretty sure every time, and this was back in March, Cardano had this massive gigapump, 72% daily candle. And then I don't know what, something happened in March. It was some bearish news or something, and then everything just kind of fell. And so same thing with ADA. Let's take a look at market cipher B. And again, guys, I'll be doing more chart focused stuff in about an hour on the Sistine Trading channel. Momentum wave looks like it's going to clip before making a new high. This is on the daily. We're starting to see these momentum oscillators flatten out. But money flow is still expanding, right? We zoom in. Money flow is not showing signs of leveling off, right? It's still just pointing up and to the right. VWAP has leveled off at around 14.6. But you can see just from the metrics and obviously the price action, Cardano was on a really nice run. It was on a really nice run, expanding money flow, expanding VWAP, expanding momentum waves. And then Scott Bessent opened his mouth. Okay. Speaking of Scott Bessent, let's take a listen to what he had to say. This is the actual clip from Fox Business on YouTube of Scott Bessent. I believe it was this morning on Fox Business, and he was asked about the strategic reserves. And, well, listen to what he said about Bitcoin.
Mr. Secretary, you're also pretty much revaluing gold, right? The Treasury has pegged the 261.5 million ounces of gold at $42.22 an ounce from a price set back in 1973 for $11 billion. If you look at current market prices of gold, you're talking about a number way above $750 billion. What's the story on gold?
We've got the large gold holding. I doubt we're going to revalue it, but we are going to keep it there, again, as a store of value for the American people. We've also started to get into the 21st century, a Bitcoin strategic reserve. We're not going to be buying that, but we are going to use confiscated assets and continue to build that up to the 21st century, a Bitcoin strategic reserve. We're not going to be buying that, but we are going to we're not going to be buying that, but we are going to use confiscated assets and continue to build that up. We're going to stop selling that. I believe that Bitcoin reserve at today's prices is somewhere between 15 and 20 billion.
And Mr. Secretary,
okay, 15 to 20 billion. Okay, let's do some math. I think he goes on. We'll come back to the clip in a second, but let's go ahead and do some math. Okay, let's take a peek here. Hi, Robin. Math is great. Okay, he said 15 to 20 billion. Let's take the higher number, $20 billion.
That's a fancy calculator you got there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And he said, at today's prices, we'll just round it up to $120,000 per Bitcoin. That means the U.S. government, on the high end of what Mr. Bessent said, holds 166,666 Bitcoin. That's it. 166.6666.6666.
Thought they had 215,000.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying, and you pushed back on me and said, no. Okay, I don't want to get into a shouting match here, but I'm curious to know your thoughts, what Bessent said. Did we get rug pulled? Did we just get baited and switched that it did?
We were doing so good, man. We were doing so good. Everyone's like, hey, U.S., crypto capital of the world. We believe in Bitcoin, but we won't buy it. Like, what? There is a long list of companies out there that are buying Bitcoin, including World Liberty Finance, which is owned by the Trump family. And so Donald Trump is buying Bitcoin. The president is buying Bitcoin, but yet the country that he's leading is not buying Bitcoin. It's a little interesting, man. I'll say this. I think the likelihood that they bought Bitcoin is very small now at this point. But I will say that in a cockamamie kind of thought process here, I will say that I would not be surprised. What? Would not be surprised if we're just showing face here. If we're just saying, hey, we're not buying Bitcoin, not us. All the while they're buying Bitcoin on the back end. We know we could be a page right from JP Morgan Chase. Bitcoin is a pet rock. Bitcoin
You cannot honestly believe that.
And yet we're buying it.
You can't believe that the Treasury of the
I don't
thank
believe
you.
it. But I'm just saying it's a possibility. It's there. It's within reason.
Yeah, a lot of possibilities.
It's a small possibility.
Yeah.
I thought they were buying and just not announcing how much they were buying prior to this announcement. And I was kind of like 50-50 on that. I was like, you know what? It would be a smart move if they were buying it and not announcing it. So that way it didn't have a big price impact and they could acquire more. It made sense to me. However, now that chance is highly unlikely. But it's still within the realm of possibility that the U.S. is buying and just not announcing it. But yeah, that chance is pretty.
Yeah, and
pretty
another
vague.
in another realm, right?
Pretty
The
vague.
nether realm from that one video.
But
game.
what I will say is that in the past, our conversations have been over what they're going to do with their gold reserve or with the gold that the U.S. holds, and you've been very outspoken saying that the U.S. is absolutely going to sell their gold and go over to Bitcoin. I was like, bro, they ain't selling their gold.
When did I say that?
Don't make me do it. You know I will find the receipts. No, you were saying that it would be stupid for them not to, and that they're going to.
Okay.
I got a lot of time on my hands the next 2 days.
You actually don't. I know for a fact you don't.
Well, there's a lot of downtime in between.
No, there's not. No, there's not.
So there's time, but
Stop
then there's
lying to yourself.
downtime.
You're going to be busy. You're literally going to be here till 10 o'clock tonight. I don't want to hear it.
And then there's more time,
No.
and then in between that time,
No.
I can.
The time. Yeah, time.
The big thing though is that sure we had a little pullback in Bitcoin. We were doing pretty well on Bitcoin. You know, we put in a new all-time high yesterday. Let's not forget about that. We hit. It was 100 and what was yesterday's 124.
124. Yeah.
124 200.
Here, pull up your PC.
Right. Yeah, so here we had 124, and then if you look at our progress over the over the week, you can see that we did hit 124 then what was it? Just Sunday night we hit 122, and so we're doing pretty well, honestly. Like it's not too bad. I wouldn't panic on this little pullback that we've had here.
The panic pullback.
It's not a panic pullback.
I know. I'm kidding. Yeah. Well, I went over the charts, and I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be just a wick. I really do. And then PPI numbers came out. Everyone's freaking out.
Inflation's here, but what do you think the Fed's gonna do? You think they're still gonna cut rates?
I think it depends on unemployment. The next jobs report. I really do.
Curious to see what the CME says tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's been adjusted just yet.
Well, we are still in the green on our trade. Shout out to Weeks, who we've partnered with to trade. And so we got in at 116.9. I had another Bitcoin position open that I opened at 113.9, and that one we closed for I think it was like 120% profit or something like that. We did take an L on an XRP trade though. We had a stop loss that got triggered. We lost 39%. And so that was an L. And as far as that chart goes, what I saw on the daily, a red dot had printed. Here, I'll show you guys on the daily. So this was 2 days ago, okay? This thing looked like it clipped right here. Right here. And then there's a red dot that showed up. And so I was like, okay, anchor wave, trigger wave, red dot, put in a short. And then it looked like it was going to roll over. And then I checked back as XRP started rallying and the red dot was gone. And so moral of the story, lesson learned, wait till the candle completely closes. And then, that was for me, that was a learning lesson. So we took an L in that trade, but that's okay. You can't win them all. Again, we still have this one open, and I'm not looking to close this one anytime soon. The current Bitcoin position we have open, we're in 11% profit on that one. This one, this is my account. I'm doing the 1K to 10K challenge on weeks, and so if you want to join me, there's a link in the description. Get on weeks, and let's start trading, make some money. So, I did want to just play this like 2 more seconds into this clip. I don't know if he continued to say anything. Let's just listen.
All of these ideas to monetize the asset side of the balance sheet of America, is that partly the beginnings of this sovereign wealth fund that you spoke about in your hearing back in January?
I think that these are all standalone ideas, and that as we get more into them, it will require legislation. We'll do it through statute to the...
Rob, he was asked about all the sovereign wealth funds, and he said they'll require legislation. We know the process of legislation, and so digital asset sovereign wealth fund, I don't know, it doesn't sound like it's going to happen, right? You really think a divided Congress is going to vote? And I know that Republicans control the House and the Senate, but at the end of the day, you get 2 Republicans that aren't aligned, then essentially a stalemate, right? And so I'm going to ask you a question, but before we get into that, I do want to give a big thank you. Today's show is brought to you by the #1 social gaming casino in the world, stake.us. If you want to get some free stake cash every day by logging in, if you want to play some fun games like roulette, blackjack, poker, love poker. Not lost at the tournament. Anyways, create an account, stake.us, links in the description. Have fun, earn free stake cash, redeem for crypto. Stake, we love you. Thank you for sponsoring the channel and the show. Now, Rob comes out, says we're not buying. Now he's saying it's going to need legislation. Were we overhyped with the U.S. government's role in essentially buying and pumping up prices?
I mean, if you were to ask at the beginning of the administration, or, at the beginning when Donald Trump got elected, if you were to ask, hey, will the U.S. buy Bitcoin? I think the answer would have been, yeah, once the Cynthia Lummis bill or something similar to it gets passed, then we'll buy crypto. We'll buy Bitcoin, but we're going to need Congress to approve the purchase. And it's even structured, hey, over 4 years or over 5 years, we're going to buy 1 million Bitcoin.
But they came out and said they're looking at budget neutral ways to buy. And now they're saying we're not buying.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. At the beginning, when they came in, when they first got elected, if you were to ask anyone, that's would have been the agreed upon answer, right? Hey, you know what? We'll get the bill passed. Cynthia Lummis has it. Donald Trump's in favor of it. That's what we were talking about. Yeah. And then the headline shifted, and it was, hey, you know what? It's actually going to be we're going to buy it at whim. If we can figure out some way it doesn't incur a cost on the taxpayer, we're going to buy. If we don't take on debt doing it, we'll just buy some Bitcoin. Hey, also, we're going to create a strategic reserve for crypto assets. We'll just buy some of those too while we're at it. And then we'll have our buys for Bitcoin. We'll have that's what we were told. Now, all of a sudden, it's, we ain't buying nothing. Oh, we don't even have all the Bitcoin that we're supposed to have, perhaps. And by the way,
he confirmed it. $15 to $20 billion worth at today's prices. That's literally what he said, Rob. We did the math. That's 100,000 less.
Maybe it's not accurate. Maybe he was just throwing out loose numbers and didn't quite.
Scott Bessent doesn't. I mean, but he gave a range, Rob, 15 to 20. You know what I'm saying? Let's face the music here, guy. Biden sold the Bitcoin. They didn't want to say anything, and they got 166,000. And the only way that's going to grow for the time being is them seizing more Bitcoin.
Until legislation comes in. Yeah.
Which,
and it's just not a. I don't know about the amount of Bitcoin. I still think I'm still not sold on the idea that they have the 166. I mean, maybe he's just like has seen the number. Or he's seen how much Bitcoin. Maybe he has seen the price when he first got in office, and it was $90,000 or something like that. Right? It wasn't that long ago when we were at $90,000.
Long time ago.
No, we were at 90,000 back in March. Yeah, so I mean, we were at 90,000. We didn't get over 100
months ago, Rob. That's a decent amount of time.
No, it was actually till April. So halfway through April. Actually, no, excuse me. We didn't get into 100K until May. So perhaps he saw the numbers then, and at prices in May or March or April, whatever it is, maybe he was just like, okay, cool. Yeah, we got 200,000 Bitcoin. That's roughly $15 to $20 billion. Haven't looked at it recently, whatever. I don't know. I'm not sold on the idea that we have less than 200,000 Bitcoin. I question how much we have. It'd be nice if they would just.
So you're saying he's lying, or he just doesn't know the real
No,
number?
I'm just thinking that, like, hey, if you ever like told somebody how much do you have in your portfolio in a certain asset, like, oh, I got 20 grand in my portfolio, but you hadn't checked it in a while, and then you like looked at it.
I don't buy it.
But you're kind of giving the price or value it was like 2 months ago.
I don't buy it. I'm sorry, bro. You're the treasurer, the secretary, or secretary. I keep saying that. You're the secretary of the treasury, bro.
At the same time,
you're not going to throw a bullshit number out. You're not going to pull a random number out of your ass. The guy gave a range, 15 to 20 billion.
But this is also an asset that the U.S. has historically not given a damn about. And it's his job has the most minute influence on Bitcoin as far as like, hey, what are my job responsibilities? Digital assets and Bitcoin is so far down the list of this man's job responsibility. If he doesn't know exactly how much Bitcoin per the math in the top of his head, like, oh, no, I have the $34.7 billion worth of Bitcoin. Yes, no, yeah, excuse me, I misspoke. Like, no, he's got all kinds of different numbers and things going on. I don't know, man. I don't think he can just throw a number right off the top of his head and equally represent what they have in Bitcoin.
You're such a smart person. I can't believe this is your stance, bro. It's a little mind-boggling to me. It really is. Like, you're such a talented and smart human being.
But don't you agree that Bitcoin is so far down the list of this man's responsibilities as a Treasury Secretary?
They've been talking about it nonstop, bro. They've been talking about it nonstop. Like, if he said, I don't know, about 20 billion. Okay. He
literally said 15 to 20 billion. That's a $5 billion range. Like, he's just throwing numbers out there, bro. That's my whole point, is that he doesn't even know. He doesn't even know the number.
I don't buy that.
And it's for an asset that is so far out of his job responsibility, realistically, compared to his real responsibilities. He's the head of a department that prints money and basically operates the bonds, funds the United States. And the Bitcoin that they have sitting in a wallet they haven't touched in 5 years is probably not at the top of his list for understanding exactly how much value it has today versus whenever. I'm saying, like, I wouldn't be surprised if we find out we do have 160,000 Bitcoin. Wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be like, you know what, David, I never saw that one coming. I'm not saying that. But I'm also saying that the guy that's a Treasury Secretary that's in charge of running all fiscal monetary policy, essentially, for the United States and regulating its debt is not a Bitcoin maxi and knows exactly how much Bitcoin they have per price. If he would have said, well, we got somewhere between 150 and 200,000 Bitcoin,
Dude,
that would have been a different story.
Trump has come out and said they have the CoinMarketCap app that allows you to track the portfolio, and they keep track there, man.
The big takeaway, though, let's not worry about the nuances here. The big takeaway here is that the U.S. isn't buying.
The big takeaway is we got bait and switched. We got lied to. We got rugged.
Does that change anything?
Hell yeah, that changes everything. What has been the thesis of this bull market is going to expand into 2026?
Well, let me ask you. Cynthia Lummis's bill.
It's not going to pass.
You don't think so?
You hear any buzz about it, Rob? You hear any buzz about it? They had a crypto week where they passed the Genius Bill, like the most common sense bill.
It wasn't up for vote though.
I know, but it wasn't even introduced.
Yeah, they weren't planning on introducing.
So then what are you waiting for? Bitcoin to get to $1 million? It doesn't make sense to me. I don't think there's
everything makes sense to me.
There's no,
they're operating from a position where historically they've always valued their gold and it's always propped up the economy. They're not revaluing the gold to buy Bitcoin. I don't agree with it, but the reality of it is I'm not surprised that the U.S. is not saying, hey, you know what? We're ditching the gold thing that we've had since the beginning of our country's, since we founded the country. We founded our monetary system backing it off of gold. We're just going to scrap the whole idea and just go to Bitcoin. Like, I never bought into that. I always thought it was like a cool conversation, sure. But there's that. And then the fact that we have a government that's propping up stablecoins. That's their thing. They said it in the beginning. They said, we're going to get stablecoin regulation passed first. What have we seen? Stablecoin regulation passed. We saw the SEC just completely take their hands off the wheel for regulating crypto. And they're incentivizing banks and directing banks that, hey, you can offer crypto services. And so what they're doing is they're positioning themselves first. They're positioning the United States for stablecoin. That's where they're making their money on. I mean, we want them to buy Bitcoin, but realistically, what is the United States doing? Hey, our dollar, which is our strongest asset, it's the backbone of our economy. We are going to use that in the stablecoin form, which we know gets locked up in T-bills.
Did you say stable corn?
Stablecoin.
Corn's delicious.
Stablecoin.
You like elote?
Pretty good. I like corn and all.
Me too.
I don't think I've ever had a corn I didn't like. Corn on the cob, cream corn, sauteed corn.
Just sucks that
corn
there's
succotash, corn elote. It's though, I will say from Virginia, there's not a lot of Hispanics in Virginia.
God, where's this
so
going?
when I moved to Vegas,
Are we about to get canceled?
No. Okay. I moved to Vegas. I had an apartment up in more northern Las Vegas.
The ghettos.
Yeah, it was in the ghettos. And I was in my apartment. I hear this lady. She's outside. She got the music and the horns going on, and the music, and she's pushing.
You're at
a little
casino,
cart.
my friend.
No. I'm in my apartment, and she's pushing the cart, and I'm like, bro, they got ice cream outside. I run outside. My girlfriend at the time, she was all. I was like, I'm getting some ice cream, and she's like, okay.
How old were you?
I was like 21.
You got excited for an ice cream truck?
Yeah. So, anyways, I ran outside. And she's like, yeah.
Did you ask your girlfriend for some money?
Well, I couldn't really.
ice cream?
I didn't know what she was saying. She's like, elote, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, yeah, for sure. Give me 2 of those. And then I thought she was gonna pull out a snow cone, maybe like
snow corn.
Yeah. So anyway, she pulled out corn, and then
Anyway,
wasn't what
what's
I
the story,
expected.
man?
Wasn't what I expected, but I got corn.
In Virginia, there's no Hispanics, so you can't get corn.
Yeah, I thought the corn. The corn elote lady was ice cream.
Listen, Gordon
lady.
Ramsay does elote corn on his menus, and he's
so
British.
yeah,
Anyways, okay.
I was disappointed, man.
Okay.
I did come in and I ate that corn. It was damn delicious.
Okay.
I don't know why they put so much.
I don't know where this
cayenne
conversation
on there,
went. Okay, so this is Eric Voorhees. This is his thoughts on what we just kind of talked about with Trump. Completely shocked to learn that Trump's Bitcoin reserve policy is roughly the same as Biden's. It's funny. All right, let's move on from this topic of conversation. Let's move to our friend AIXBT. Such a cool dude, man. Met this guy. Awesome person. It's an AI. Stop farming 30% stablecoin yields when validator exits. Talking about ETH. just spiked 217,000 ETH in 2 days. In 2 days. So what does that mean, Rob? That means the people that have ETH staked for validation purposes are unstaking it. And Rob, why would you unstake something? Would you unstake because you're planning on holding it? Or would you unstake because you're probably planning on maybe selling it? Now, I'm not saying it's a for sure thing. It's all going to be sold. But when I move my crypto from a hardware wallet to an exchange, I am selling it. Zero other reason I'm doing it. It's to off-ramp into dollars. So, any quick thoughts on this? Quick thoughts. You think ETH is about to see a big correction? No?
No, I mean, if you want to go in like, hey, look at all this ETH that's getting unlocked. If anything, that pours further down the ETH ecosystem. I know you're thinking that this is going to get offloaded into stables and then cashed out. Yeah, I'm sure there will be, but I think people are looking at an ETH rally and looking at the ETH ecosystem, and same way that I look at it. I'm like, holy crap. If we get that $6,000, that $8,000, that $12,000 Ethereum, you're going to be foolish for sitting in ETH. I mean, okay, cool. It's better ETH than dollars. Okay, sure. But you would best believe there's going to be some money to be made in AVE, Arbitrum, meme coins. And so that's what I think a lot of the money's going into. I mean, these are degens. If you have Ethereum,
absolutely disgusting.
If you have Ethereum and you're staking it, that's not it's not the most simplest staking. It's not the simplest staking protocol, right? There's a lot of hoops to jump through to start staking early in the days. And then you had lockup
periods. They say the bigger the hoop, the bigger the
ear?
Yeah. Not that, but
sure.
I got some news to share here, Rob.
What you got?
Massive news. Log on to your Coinbase account and buy some Litecoin, man. It's getting real here, guys. MEI Pharma becomes the first public U.S. company to adopt the Litecoin treasury strategy. Litecoin treasuries. 929,000 Litecoin were acquired for $100 million at $107.58. Guys, I want to share something with you guys. I want to share something. First of all, big thanks to our Patreon members. I love you guys. Thanks for your support. Let me show you what I sent to our. Let me show you what I sent to our people. I said, hey, I'm rotating heavy into infrastructure and treasury plays, and well, what was the very first one? It was Litecoin. And so this is a real vertical. This is a real narrative. And well, if you don't have any money in any of these narratives, then you're not going to make money. Or you'll make money, you just won't be maximizing ROI. You are going to see more of this. Think outside the box. Think about the projects that when they launched had massive VC backing. That is why one of my 3 altcoins from 2 days ago was Eigenlayer. ETH, staking, and VC. Had a lot of VC money, had a lot of VC backing, had a lot of hype. That's one that's outside the top 100. Litecoin. You're going to see Sui. You're going to see Hedera. You're going to see Algorand. You're going to see Say. You're going to see these, and so have some allocations to the ones you believe, and you'll make money. This is the company stock, by the way. Their company stock, their market cap is 150 million, Rob, and they just blew 100 million. So they spent almost 100% of their entire value of the company on Litecoin. If you were their CMO, or if you were their CRO, their chief revenue officer or chief business officer, whatever the fuck, CFO, would you be shitting yourself, or would you be, very...
I mean, I don't really agree with it. I obviously have my bias against Litecoin. I just think Bitcoin is just such a safer vehicle, just because we know the direction of
Robin,
Bitcoin.
Duh. But some people...
But where I was going to get at is that I don't think it's... You would... If you ask yourself this, what will outperform in the next 5 years? Will it be Litecoin or S&P 500? Will it be bonds or will it be Litecoin?
In the next how many years? 5 years?
5 years. And so I don't think it's a bad idea. I think honestly, I wouldn't choose Litecoin, but if I had to choose Litecoin or the traditional means of investment, which is bonds, T-bills, S&P 500, a basket of whatever, like
Mortgage-backed securities?
Yeah, it's just, I think, I'm not a big fan of Litecoin, but Litecoin, where's Litecoin is at price at right now?
102.
120.
120.
$120,000. So, do I think Litecoin will be over $200 in the next 5 years? Yeah, I do. Well, I think it'll go further down the market cap list. Yeah, that'll also happen too. I think it'll fall from inside the top 20. I think it'll be inside the top 30, but the market cap of crypto in its entirety will grow. And I think that a $200 Litecoin is likely over the next 5 years. And so
Hold
if
on. A $200 Litecoin is likely in 5 years, that would be horrible.
compared to the S&P 500, it's not. You're not gonna.
What percent is that? A 60% gain
It's almost a 2x.
in 5 years? Well, I guess that's a 12%
Okay,
annualized.
are you gonna outside of crypto, where would a company get 80% returns?
Nvidia
in 5 years.
Nvidia just went from
You
2 to
can't
4.4
cherry pick
trillion.
the most successful company. Okay, so that company that just bought Litecoin, you're saying that they can create the fabs for making chips and graphic processors that take
No,
20,
obviously
30
not.
years.
I cherry picked an example. Yes.
Then
Listen, I was starting to go into your camp, and then you cut me off. I was saying, doing the math at 12% annualized, that's actually not bad. That's pretty good, right? 60 divided by 5. So, yeah. But honestly, if in 5 years Litecoin is only at $200, I would be disappointed if I was a Litecoin holder, personally.
that company will be extremely happy.
Yeah, I know. That's $160 million.
Yeah, it's gonna be more than that. It's 80% run.
Okay, so almost.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Just call it a double.
I don't agree with the choice of crypto, but it's still better than.
You do agree, though, that we're going to see more and more of the treasury companies with different alts, correct?
I think what we'll see is more companies that have portfolios in altcoins and in crypto. So what I think is that Bank of America and throw like Amazon and Whole Foods, Whole Foods, I know this is the same company, and then maybe just companies that have nothing to do with crypto, right? Maybe AT&T or something. And these companies are just gonna have an allocation of crypto as part of their company's holdings. I think they'll have Bitcoin and ETH and Avalanche and Cardano or whatever it is. Like I think that's going to be commonplace. What I don't think we'll see is a company just going all in on one altcoin. Now there will be examples of that, like this one.
That's what Bitcoin did. Bitcoin did that with ETH.
Yeah, but I think that we'll get more companies that act in the same way that retail does and have a diverse portfolio and invest in different assets in the same asset class, right? It's not surprising, right?
I want everyone to pay very close attention, okay? What I'm about to share with you is very important, and I need everyone's thoughts. Rob.
And I feel like I'm going to pull up some silly...
Rob.
Go ahead.
Let's say you and I are at the studio. Or actually, let's say you and your girlfriend, which you don't have a girlfriend, but let's say you get a girlfriend one day. Someone decides, hey, I wish you
maybe today's the day. How you doing? Put a one in the chat if you're interested in a...
Say someone says, you know what? I'll date you, guy. I'll give you a chance. And then they give you $50 to go gamble. And then you hit a jackpot for $100,000. How much are you giving them? Half? Their $50 back? $1,000 or nothing? Very important. It's a hard one.
So this is how it breaks down, and there's no wiggle room here. This is very, very simple.
Okay.
If I got $50 from my girlfriend, partner, whatever you said, girlfriend, but say my girlfriend, and I got to give her half.
Okay.
$50K.
Okay.
But now, from a man's perspective, if I give her $50 and she hits a jackpot, she just gives me my $50 back. It's a sad reality. It just ain't the same on both sides of the field
I'm
here.
taking half. What the? Did you miss the part where it said your partner brings you? So they spent the money on gas and time to bring you to the casino, and you gave them $50, and they give you $50. I think the correct answer is A.
I'm not saying that I think the correct answer is A. I'm just saying that realistically, how it is you give that girl that $50, she comes back a winner, she gives you your money back, and she keeps the profits.
Why did you turn Southern all of a sudden? Gina, you want to say something?
I just had this conversation with someone, and now I feel like a bad person.
Why? Let me guess. You said B, right?
Yeah, because that's what they gave me.
You cheap ass.
That's what I'm telling
won.
you. You don't understand. That's how it is. That's how she thinks. That's just how the reality is.
Gina, if I gave you $50 to go gamble and you hit $100 grand, you'd give me just $50 back?
Yeah, because I won it myself.
See?
I won that.
I know it doesn't. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But I'm just saying that's how the world works, bro.
Okay.
It's how the world works.
It's fine.
I'm
All
sorry.
right, whatever. No, now I know your character. Let's move on. Google acquires an 8% stake in Bitcoin miner Terra Wolf for a $3.7 billion deal. Everyone wants a piece of the Bitcoin pie, whether it's by proxy or actually holding it. We also have this. Whales are back. Doge activity. Doge whale activity is at a 1-month high. And well, let's take a peek. And Bitcoin is at 117,658. Let's take a look at Doge a month ago. What did price do? So 1 month. So the 14th of July. Well, whales started moving, and Doge rallied 50%. Rob, do you think we're going to see something similar? And I know that because it happened before doesn't mean it's going to happen again. But do you believe, right, when you take a look at last time whale activity was that high, Doge rallied 50%, and this is where we are at with Doge. What's your Doge thesis, and what are your thoughts?
I still am in the camp that Doge is going to perform very well this year. Now, or this bull market. Now, the thing I do think is going to happen is that it's going to be a late comer. It's going to show up late to the party.
Usually that's what happens with memes, though.
Yeah, that's my whole context, is that I'm not focused on the big cap memes right now because, well, you're going to probably do better, or you'll probably do similar numbers with the layer ones, the big boys, right? I don't think that Doge is going to outperform Solana in the next 3 months. I don't think that Doge is going to outperform Cardano in the next 3 months. I don't think Doge is going to outperform Stellar or Hedera. But I do think that on the latter parts of this bull market, maybe in February of next year, March, something like that, we can get that parabolic run out of Doge. So for the moment, I'm not really interested in it. I am more interested in the lower cap memes. I think the lower cap memes are the ones that are more likely to explode. You go down here into this top 100 range, to the bottom of the 100. You know, we do got Fartcoin. I mentioned this one before. It's one of my picks for this bull market. I think Fartcoin is gonna do very well over the next 90 days. I think once Solana's ecosystem gets ripping, and we saw a glimmer of it. We saw what is likely to happen. One, we saw Ethereum get to $4,700. That was a big move. You look here. I mean, it was at 4,750. Big number, man. It's not far away from it's breaking all-time high. And then you go down to look at Cardano. Cardano yesterday, man, it went from, in 24 hours, from 87 cents to over $1.
It was on a run.
And then it probably would have kept going if Bitcoin hadn't pulled back the way it did this morning. And then, you know, you looked at Solana. Solana was gearing up, man. And so I think once we get back, Solana was at 210. Once we get back into the driver's seat with Bitcoin, these alts are going to do what they were about to do. And that's going to be send off on that altcoin season and make a lot of money. And so, yeah, man, I'm excited, man. I know today the price is down, but I got all the signals I need that we're gonna get that typical bull market for altcoins. Does it happen this month? I think so. I think it continues on this month. I think we had a little pullback. You said today you think that this is more or less a smaller pullback, right?
Yeah.
A short term.
Yeah.
Candle.
I don't think we go under 115.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
And so if that's the case and we're back over 120 by the end of the week.
If we're under 115, then we're going down to like 111.
Do we get back over 120 this week?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think so too.
I think we're at 120 by Friday.
So tomorrow?
Oh, no, Friday night. Well, going into the weekend. I was thinking I was 2 days out.
Yeah.
I think within 2 days, so say Saturday, I think we're back over 120 on Saturday.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at BTC, super low time frame. Let's look at the 5-minute. And again, guys, I'll be doing more trading in about 10 minutes on Sistine Trading. If you stay in the chat, you'll be automatically redirected. We'll break down the charts in real time, do a little more in-depth analysis. We did lose this big liquidity level here, 117.7. You see that large amount of buyers relative to the time frame, of course. Large volume note on the 5-minute fell as well. We did get a wick all the way down to 117.1 on BTC. Let's take a look at some of the momentum oscillators. RSI stochastics are starting to go back up again. We'll see where this momentum waves drops down to. We'll see if it catches and reverses before we hit our oversold 1 level on market cipher B. And then one thing I do like to look at as well, especially on the lower time frames, is going to be market cipher A. 5-minute gave you a blood diamond on, this was about 45 minutes ago. And if you would have entered on that trade, you're looking at the 0.5%. So 5-minute.
I want to do a quick rapid fire with you.
Okay.
Last
Pew,
week,
pew.
or
Sorry.
earlier this week, or last week, I forget. Time is all blurred now in the bull market. But kind of we went over the market cap cryptos in the 40 range. And so I was thinking, what do you like if you had to pick you had to pick 2. You only had to pick 2 out of the market cap range from 30 to 40. So you have, you got AVE, Pepe, Monero, Mantle, BitTensor,
AVE and BitTensor.
Near, Ethereum Classic,
Stop.
Aptos,
AVE and BitTensor.
Ondo,
AVE and BitTensor.
and ICP.
AVE and BitTensor.
So you're picking
Very
Ande, BitTensor over Aptos, Ondo.
Ande?
Excuse me. Ondo.
Andele.
So Ondo and
the corn
Aptos
guy is here.
and
$2 for some
ICP.
corn, baby.
I wish a corn, a sweet corn lady would pop up outside with her little cooler.
Oh my God! I saw someone said, "Please, Mr. Trump, don't deport the corn lady." Fucked up. That is fucked up. Yeah, for me, it's very easy. I have a lot of conviction in AVE. I have a lot of conviction in BitTensor.
Over Aptos, Ondo, and ICP?
Yep. Not to say that I wouldn't have those either, but if you're
And the reason I said those other ones because we believe in the 3.
I believe
right?
in them.
Yeah, we
Okay,
believe.
what would you pick? I know. Here, let me guess what you would pick. You would pick Ondo, and you would pick Pepe or AVE. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? I know you too.
I'd probably pick AVE.
AVE? AVE is such a clean, easy play, man. It really is.
I'd go Ondo AVE.
Yeah.
I'd like to say ICP, but
Can you get those in one frame or no?
If I zoomed out a little
Yeah,
bit.
let's zoom out. So I want people that are watching. Okay, guys, you see numbers 30 through 40 on your screen, okay? So I know it's a little small. You might need to zoom in a little bit. I'll go over them real quick, and I want you to give me the 2. If you only could pick 2 to hold for this cycle, which one would you pick? AVE, Pepe, Monero, Mantle, BitTensor, Near, Ethereum Classic, Aptos, Ondo, ICP, and Pi. I picked AVE and BitTensor Rob went with Ondo and AVE. We want to know what you guys in the chat would think or would pick. Honestly, now here's my question. Here's
The
question.
only ones I would pull out of this
I was
would
just gonna
be
say,
be Monero and ETH Classic. You can make an argument for Mantle. You can make an argument for Near. You can make an argument for
Pi. Garbage. Get rid of Pi.
I don't know enough about it.
I wouldn't touch Pi. I wouldn't touch ETC.
You know more about Pi than I do.
Not really. I know it's just some mining shit. A lot of people were mining it. This is 2-3 years ago.
I know you can mine it with your cell phone.
Yeah, but people are having trouble with their. I know Broke Yoshi said he got an airdrop. We're getting a lot of comments here, which is great. Let me take a peek here. So we have. Let me refresh this so we get the best. Also, guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, we go live Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you're subbed to the channel. Okay. Brian said Ondo and BitTensor, solid plays. Turd Ferguson said ICP and Ondo, also solid plays. Sean said Near and Ondo. So a lot of Ondos here. Emmanuel said by Tau. Revo said Pepe and Monero. Monero is an interesting one. I had that 51% takeover. Near and Pith. I don't think Pith was on there.
That was a long time ago.
No, that was yesterday, brother.
Was it?
With Cubic, yeah. Literally yesterday.
I thought that happened. I thought they had I thought they had that situation happen a while ago.
It happened yesterday. Unless you found information that I didn't find, it happened yesterday.
Okay.
BitTensor Ondo. A lot of Ondos. So it looks like our community is pretty bullish on Ondo.
This is something that's like we were talking about this when it was outside the top 100. Bro.
Ondo, yeah.
Well, like if you watch our channel at all, like over a long period of time, you will know that we were hyping up Ondo back when it was under 50 cents. We were talking about it back here when it was 25 cents, and so I think it's got a lot. You know, this is BlackRock right here, largest company in the world. End stop.
Yeah, nothing else for you to say.
Yeah, it's not even largest company in tech. You can put it whatever you want, like just largest company, period. Like
the government asked.
They're going in with RWAs using Ondo, and so it's
well securitized more, but Ondo's definitely part of that group. Yeah. Okay, I do want to talk about Chainlink. You know, I am a big Chainlink bull. I'll tell you what, man. Week after week, this thing was doing nothing, and I kept getting questioned, and I was like, I'm so bullish. And then they Chainlink Foundation announced their treasury. I'm telling you, treasuries, right? It's just focus on what's trending. Right now, treasuries are trending. So think about what altcoins are going to get treasuries and then buy some of that. You'll make money. Very simple. Let's not complicate the market cycles here. You guys,
and stable coins. And who's gonna operate?
Which I've been
who's gonna operate the rails of the stable coins?
Literally been talking about for like 3 months.
You're gonna make so much money on stable coins. Like you don't even realize.
You know, Convex Finance has 3x in like 2.5-3 months.
Curved out, Aerodrome, Convex. Like there's so many different plays. And now you might say to yourself, like, oh, well, how do I get exposure to stable coins? It's $1. Like we're not telling you to buy the stable coin, but we're just telling you that the platforms that are providing the stable coins are the ones that are lubricating it to go from one wallet to the other. Whoever's putting that Astroglide on that stable coin.
Got to keep it smooth, baby, smooth as eggs.
Astroglide's sticky though. You gotta be careful.
Here's my thing.
Use only a small dot.
Here's the way I think. Okay, when you put your money in a bank, it doesn't just sit there. They take that money and they put it to work. There's no such thing as idle money in the world of finance and Wall Street and these large corporations.
Idle money is losing money.
Exactly.
Because you're fighting against inflation.
Bingo.
7%.
Bingo. So, Rob, if we believe that banks are going to have their own stable coins, have rails for stable coins, and allow their customers to use
It's going to be a lot of Astroglide.
No, seriously, though.
Seriously.
Are they just going to let it sit there? No. So where are they going to take it and put it? That's where your thought process has to go. That's why we had large positions on Athena. That's why we had large positions on Convex. That's why we had large positions on Curve. We have a decent-sized position on Asymmetry Finance, which is backed by Fidelity. These are the things, okay? And so if you just like put some time in, you literally just watched our show. It's 1 hour a day, 5 days a week for the last 2 years. You're probably not reached all your goals, but
That's right.
but you would have been sitting on a nice portfolio right now.
Free shipping.
You're such an idiot. Okay, let's go back to Chainlink. Okay, I'm not going down that. I'm not asking that question. Chainlink rallies nearly 40% in a week as whale activity surges, but I think this is the big one here, guys. Today, the Chainlink Reserve has accumulated 44,000 Link. As of August 14th, they hold 109,661 Link tokens. It's designed to support long-term growth and sustainability of the Chainlink network by accumulating Link using off-chain revenue from large enterprises. Super bullish, obviously. Bitcoin's seeing a little bit of a bounce, 117.8. I wanted to put in a long on Doge, but I was waiting to see if Bitcoin was going to continue to fall because when I was looking, I think it was the 1 hour. Yeah, I mean, this is you got two candles in a row on the 1 hour that look like both reversal candles. You're coming into a big volume point here at 21.8 cents. We're at 22.3 cents. Man, would have been a nice trade. Might put this in on the cysteine trading, and we got a green dot on B, market cipher B. Okay, this might be a trade I put in on the trading show, which starts in like 5 minutes. I need 5 to 10 minutes to get myself situated, get the thing going. But if you stay in this chat, you'll be automatically redirected to cysteine trading, where you'll catch me pulling off some trades.
Hold on. If you move over and basically don't do anything, give some money away for one of the viewers here.
Okay.
If you put a 777 in the chat, you'll qualify. But we're not going to talk about it on the show, so people that don't understand.
So it's only for our community.
Yeah, just for our community.
Okay.
I want to. It hasn't been a lot of turnout from our community in the trading show, which is our own trading show. So
let's.
So 777. Put it in the chat. We'll throw you some money.
I'm putting a number. I want 150 people in there.
Okay, but you still got to give something out, no matter what. Don't bait and switch them. Give something away.
Fine.
$50 at least.
Fine. Robin wins. I'll give $50 to one person, not here, guys, at the cysteine trading, which will be redirected to. Gino, roll the outro. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Appreciate every single one of you. We love you guys. To all the new people that joined us today, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. Notification bell on. I'll see you guys in 5 minutes. Bye.
Cash is cool, Sin City, crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fractions. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the